What's up, everybody? So, teamrock.com has an article that basically talks about the top 10 best Guns N' Roses Use Your Illusion songs. I wanted to go through the list and provide the link for you guys to go check it out. And I've also made my list of top 10 songs, and it's kind of hard for me to choose 10 because I do love more than 10 songs on this album. So let's look at number 10 on their list. I also want you guys to share your list with me as well. So, according to their list, number 10 is Dust and Bones. And of course, Dust and Bones is one of a couple songs that Izzy Stradlin actually sings lead vocals on for the album. And Izzy's always been compared to as being the Keith Richards of Guns N' Roses. He's like the really cool rhythm guitarist. This is honestly one of my favorite songs off the album. I like 14 Years better than Dust and Bones, but my first introduction to Dust and Bones was actually on the Live Era album. I'd never really heard of it before. And then I actually went and listened to the Live Era version. I actually like the live version on Live Era better than I like the actual studio recording. But it's definitely on my top 10 list. Number 9, this is one of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs, Breakdown. I always feel like it was underrated, it was underappreciated, and it never was played live too many times. I posted a video on my channel a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago. It was a high-res version or a high-quality version of Guns N' Roses playing Breakdown live, and it was I think it was in Worcester, Massachusetts, which is near Boston, and it's a fantastic version. Now, it's from 1991. The audio is not going to be like it is from today's concerts, but it's probably the best live version of Breakdown I've ever heard. Definitely one of my favorite Guns N' Roses tracks. Also an example of Axl's great songwriting. Number 8 is Doubletalking Jive. So this is a song that I'm kind of lukewarm on. I like Doubletalking Jive, but I actually like the live version better. I always have the live version on my iPod, especially the version from Paris that they played where he's like cussing out Warren Beatty. And this was a song that Guns N' Roses have played live pretty much every concert on their reunion tour. They've been playing a lot on the Use Your Illusion tour. They played it. And, usually Axl would, introduce the song and dedicate it to whoever was pissing him off at that time, whether it was Lars Ulrich, whether it was James Hetfield, whether it was Izzy Stradlin after he left the band, or even Warren Beatty. Number 7. Now, this is a song that I also discovered off Live Era. I love the Live Era version better than the actual studio version. Pretty tied up. And this one's actually definitely one of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs. It's actually not in my top 10, though, but I still like the song a lot. This is probably one of the last few Guns N' Roses songs I ever heard. I had already known a lot of their catalog, and this was one of the songs I wasn't too familiar with, but I became very familiar with it after listening to Live Era. Number 6 is easily in my top 10. I love this song, 14 Years. It's my favorite of the two if I'm comparing this to Dust and Bones. It's easily one of my favorite songs, and I just love the lyrics in it. It's definitely got a different vibe and, everything with the piano going on. It's just such a huge departure from what Appetite for Destruction was, especially with Izzy singing lead vocals. Number 5, You Could Be Mine. Now, You Could Be Mine is a song that was originally supposed to be on Appetite for Destruction. It never ended up going on the album, but I think they did on the actual credits for Appetite for Destruction. They included a line from You Could Be Mine, with your bitch slap rapping and your cocaine tongue, you get nothing done. And if you guys ever saw the Use Your Illusions albums, I think they did include a liner note saying Ain't It Fun, sort of foreshadowing to the spaghetti incident. And, people love to hate on Matt Sorum, but this is one of Matt Sorum's best songs on drums that at least I believe. That intro is just so awesome. And it's probably one of his best known songs he's ever played drums on. Number 4 is November Rain. How can you have a Guns N' Roses top 10 list without November Rain? It's easily one of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs. It took the band in a different direction, and the music video is just epic. Like it's rock and roll decadence at its best. Even the part with Slash coming out of the church and playing the guitar solo, you kind of watch it now and it's kind of lame. And even Axl said in an interview he looks back at those videos and they're kind of cheesy to him. But it's definitely one of Guns N' Roses' finest masterpieces. Number 3, Don't Cry. I love Don't Cry. The video is so cool. I still find it cool even to this day. It's not as cheesy as November Rain. I still like the alternate version of Don't Cry, but I like this one more. This was actually, I think, one of the first songs that Guns N' Roses ever wrote as a band. You'll see a pattern. A lot of the Illusion songs were written during the early days of Guns N' Roses, and they just never got around to putting it on Appetite. Number 2, this is probably my favorite Guns N' Roses song of all time, Estranged. People love to talk about how great November Rain is. November Rain's a great song, but to me, Estranged is an epic song, and it's just miles above November Rain. The video, you can go either way. I'm not a huge fan of the video, but man, I love Slash's guitar playing on the song. I think this is one of my favorite songs that Slash has ever played on. I think it was kind of shitty that Slash never got writing credits. Instead, he just because it was actually Axl was credited as the sole writer for the song, but he does thank Slash in the liner notes. And number one, what could number one be? Civil War. I love Civil War. It wouldn't be number one on my list, but it's definitely in my top 10. This was one of the first songs we actually got to hear just before Use Your Illusions came out, and it was the last song that Steven Adler actually played on. In fact, he was so messed up on heroin that they had to piece together 60 of his drum takes to actually put the drums together on the actual song. So that's Team Rock's top 10 list. I want to read you guys my top 10 list. And this, I could probably, depends on what day you're asking me, I could probably have a different top 10 list. But number 10 for me is The Garden. I love that song. I really love Slash's guitar playing on it. Number 9 for me is Dust and Bones. Number 8, I apologize, is You Could Be Mine. Number 7 is Coma. Number 6 is Civil War. Number 5 is 14 Years. Number 4 is Don't Cry, the original version. Number 3 is Breakdown. Number 2 is November Rain. And number 1 is Estranged for me. So that's my top 10 list. Let me know your guys' top 10 list or even top 5 list. Do you guys agree with my list? Do you disagree? What songs am I missing? Let me know. And how do you guys think Team Rock did in evaluating Guns N' Roses' top 10 Use Your Illusion songs? Let me know. And if you guys want to visit their website and read all their write-ups, I've linked to it down below. That does it for today's news. And as always, guys, make sure you subscribe for the latest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.